I sort of set you up for this one. If you notice, your CAD drawing is huge compared to the scale of the person who's standing next to the origin. And that was because of the drawing units that we had selected. I'm just going to go back and show you again under File, Import, that when you click on the Options tab, you have the option to set the drawing units. And in this case, we set the drawing units to feet, even though in reality, the drawing units are actually inches. Now, this is going to happen to you every once in a while when you're importing a CAD file and you're not really sure what the drawing units are. Maybe the drawing was drawn in a CAD program and someone had the default unit set to metric. Maybe they were centimeters or millimeters. Or you might get often times where the model is just sort of switched back and forth between feet and inches. I've also seen CAD drawings that come in from Vectorworks that were drawn to scale, and again you get that scaling issue where the drawing comes in and it's at 1/4 inch scale. It's this itty bitty tiny drawing and you have to scale it up. So rather than undoing back and going through that whole import process all over again, I just want to show you a quick trick using the tape measure tool to getting this drawing down to the right scale. Now I just so happen to know that the doorway in this drawing is a 3-foot doorway. As long as you know something about the file, again, I'm just going to zoom out again so you can see particularly which doorway I zoomed into. And it's the one here between sort of the crooked part of the building and the straight part of the building. There's a door opening in between. I happen to know that that doorway is 3 foot. As long as you've got some kind of a scale reference, and this is where I'll just throw a tip out there. If you're working in CAD, oftentimes it's a good idea to put a little scale bar in your drawing. Whether it's a 2-foot long bar or a 200-foot long bar, at least it'll give you a sense of an exact measurement that you can use as a reference when you're in CAD. If you just happen to know, like we do here, that this doorway is 3 feet, you can use that as a reference too. It doesn't matter how long or how short the reference is, it just matters how you reference it. So here, with the tape measure tool, we want to go over to the doorway, click and let go of the mouse button to click on the first endpoint defining the width of the doorway. Move the mouse button back over and click and let go a second time. That's probably the most important part. You want to make sure that you click and let go the first time on the first corner, then click and let go a second time on the other corner. From there, you can see that the length is obviously being shown as 36 feet. We know that it's actually 36 inches. So we've got two options. We can either just type in 36 inches using the quotation mark and then hit enter. And SketchUp will ask us whether or not we want to resize the entire model. Here I'm going to select the option for yes, and then again click on Zoom Extents, and now we can see that the plan is actually scaled relative to that one precise measurement. I'm going to undo back one last time just so you can see it again. If I go back over to the door, click on one point, then click on the other point, and this time I'll just type in 3 feet using the apostrophe instead of 36 inches, same thing. Hit enter. Resize the model, yes, and then click on Zoom Extents. And now we can see that the drawing is in there at the correct scale. So now's a good time to practice that and practice importing other drawings into SketchUp. This time though, if we go back up to File, Import, and import one of the other drawings that we had exported, this time maybe the south elevation, I want to go over to Options and make sure to set the drawing units this time to inches, since we now know that those are the units that were used when we exported our SketchUp model out to DWG in the first place. Click OK, and then click Import. And then click OK again. Now you can see that because we had the option for Preserve Drawing Origin selected, the drawing origin for both of these drawings happen to overlap on top of each other. So we've got the elevation sitting on top of the plan. You can just go in and move the plan out or move the elevation out away from the plan. For the next part of this lesson, we're actually just going to work on a CAD drawing that we put together. It's different than the ones that we've exported so far from the SketchUp model. And we've already imported the CAD drawing into the sample project file that you've downloaded from the 3D warehouse. This is the project file called CAD import version 7. And again, just a reminder, if you want to grab this file or haven't done so already, you can go to the 3D warehouse, search under collections for SketchUp Pro Series or Working with CAD, and the file that you'll see here is called Working with CAD Example. So download that, and we're going to work on that one next. Now, hypothetically speaking, say you're working in SketchUp, you export a bunch of files, then you go into CAD and you keep working on the project, and then you want to bring those files back over into SketchUp and create a new 3D model of your design. Or maybe you're working in CAD to begin with, and now you just want to see those CAD drawings visualized as a 3D model. Just to show you the CAD file that we've got, I'm just going to open it up in the eDrawings viewer. Now we're trying to be a bit more general here, again, not being too specific about one CAD package or another. So this is just to show you that the drawing file that we're working with, as it was set up in CAD, had some different layers. We also were using blocks for some of the different objects like doors and appliances and plumbing fixtures. And now we've essentially got a drawing for you already set up where we've imported that file into SketchUp, and we've got everything at the right scale. So at least this way we know that we're all moving forward here from the same spot. If I go to Zoom Extents, you can see the exact same CAD file. Both the plan and all of the elevations were all contained in the same drawing. So if you click, you'll see that all of that information is all contained within the same group, or actually a component in this case.